Hi guys, and happy Palm Sunday to those of you who celebrate Palm Sunday. This is the start of my favorite week of the year, so I'm pretty excited. It's been a little bit since I've posted. It's been a little over a week, and that is because we started online schooling this week, and that was a lot of work. It was, a lot of work to figure all of that out, so I didn't have time to film anything. So here I am, though. I'm back. I have two videos today, and I don't know which one you're watching first. One of the videos is a goofy lesson about cowboys, for real, cowboys. That was actually the first request I got when I started this YouTube channel. One of my students specifically requested that I teach a lesson in Laird style, as she called it, about cowboys. And I was really stoked about that for lots of reasons, and so it just took me a while to put together. So if you are looking for just like a goofy, hopefully funny, lesson that requires very little thought, that is the video for you. Fun with cowboys. This video is going to be another like update, life lesson-ish sort of a video. It's kind of similar to my last video because weirdly enough, that's actually what people most often request from me, and those are also the videos that get the most views, which I don't totally understand why people just want to listen to me ramble, but I'll take it. So it's sort of, anyway, so that's what this video is going to be. This video is more of like an update, life lesson type of situation. I'm going to tell you about a conversation that I've been having with my friend in Ireland that I was telling you about, and some different stuff like that. So, I do want to give you a heads up though, if I say what I'm planning on saying, which who knows, but if I do, I am going to talk a little bit about my personal faith, and I know that that's something that not everybody wants to listen to, so I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's coming, and you know, if that's something that you find offensive, this maybe isn't the video for you to watch, although, you know, it's just me, so you're fine either way, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's coming, okay? So this week I've been talking to my friend Breed. That's my friend from Ireland that I told you about last time. And I just gotta say that like reading her emails is sort of like reading poetry, which makes it a little bit intimidating to respond because letters from me definitely do not sound like poetry. But I love talking to her, and I find her fascinating and really kind. So I've been talking to her and just asking kind of like how she's doing and are they safe and healthy and all of that. And because she lives with her daughter and a dog. And so, ooh, the hummingbirds back there. Sorry, sidetrack, squirrel. Anyway, so I was just asking her kind of how she was doing, and she was telling me that when all of this started, she was really anxious and worried and stuff like that, but then she realized that all of the things she was anxious and worried about, she didn't have any control over. Like, they were things that were out of her hand. They were in someone else's hand. And so, she decided instead of focusing on being afraid and worried and anxious and all of that stuff, that she would focus on what she does have control over. And I just absolutely love that. And I know that that's not like a new concept. She's not the only person who's doing that, but it was just a good reminder for me. So she said, you know, Kelsey, I'm focusing on how I treat my daughter and how I respond to her. I'm focusing on what time I decide to go on a walk with my dog, which she told me she likes to go at dawn because she likes to be the first set of footprints on the beach, which I just love. She said I can focus on what I'm going to choose to make for dinner and that type of stuff. And she's just choosing to focus on the things that she can control. And I think that's a beautiful concept and a really important one for us, especially right now, because there's so much available for us to consume that would make us anxious and worried. I mean, this virus is crazy, and not only that, but people are losing their jobs, and the economy is struggling, and you know, just all kinds of stuff is happening, and it would be really, really easy to just be consumed by that. And I just think it's really important, an important and good reminder for us to focus instead on the things that we can control. She did, by the way, Breed invited me to come walk with her on the beach and then come back to her home to sit in front of the fire with a warm bowl of soup. And I mean, like, I don't know what sounds better than that right now. So when I can travel again, you know, I may be going back. But anyway, I really thought her her suggestion was timely and valid to focus on things that we have control over. So like I'm focusing on what I choose to do with my day. For example, I'm sitting on my patio right now, even though it's windy and gonna start raining again soon, I think. Rain is my favorite weather, so it doesn't bother me. But I'm sitting on my patio because yesterday I chose to, rather than be lazy and sit on the couch all day, I chose to work on my patio. And a friend let me borrow their pressure washer, which they left in front of their door, and I just picked it up, so don't yell at me. All right. But thanks, Therese, for that. So I got to like really clean my patio, which was pretty cool. And now it's all nice, and I've got like, you know, some fresh flowers, and so I just kind of want to sit out here all the time. That's why I'm out here today. So that's a thing that I can focus on. I can focus on things that I can do that are productive. I can focus on what I'm going to choose to eat. I can focus on letting my hair be free. Look at that flippy curl thing. Way to go, bangs. I can, in all seriousness though, I can mostly focus on what I choose to fill my mind with. So I'm not watching anything that's sad. I'm not watching the news, not because I want to bury my head in the sand, but because I don't want to be filled with anxiety. So if I need to know something, I'll research it to stay updated on what I need to be updated on. But I'm not just going to watch a continual stream of anxiety. I'm going to look for good news, like that hummingbird feeding right behind me. Love that guy. You know, I'm going to fill my mind with things that are good and pure and wholesome and lovely and full of peace, because that's what I need during this time. I don't need more stress. And I can focus on reaching out to friends. I have control over that, you know, and so there's just so many good, positive things we can focus on. And remember too that, like, I mean, we have a lot to be thankful for during this time. This is a really unusual opportunity to stop, to slow down. For a lot of you, it's an opportunity to spend good quality time with your families, and I think that's super cool. I don't have that opportunity, so I hope that you guys who have it are enjoying it and taking advantage of it, even though I'm sure it gets old to have a lot of people in your house. It also gets old to have no people in your house, so I hope you're taking advantage of that opportunity with those opportunities with your family. Like, there's just so much good stuff we can learn right now, and so I think it's really important, our mindset and our focus during this time. So thank you, Breed, for that reminder, even though I'm pretty sure Breed doesn't watch these because I haven't told her that they exist. Yeah, and then the other thing that I've been thinking about today, and sorry, I keep holding a paper back, that's why my hand's over here. Today, well, something I've been thinking about this week, but today in particular, I had a good reminder of it, is to be, like I was just saying, to be grateful. I've had the opportunity to watch a lot of church services recently, because one advantage to the quarantine is that, like, churches are broadcasting their services. So I watched my sister's church last night. This morning I watched my church that I actually go to. I watched my dad's church, and then I watched the church that my brother pastors, and got to listen to my brother. I've been getting to listen to my brother teach, which is pretty awesome. I love him. I'm super proud of him, so that's been cool. And kind of through all of that and through my own reading and what I've been studying and stuff, I've been reminded how much stronger we become when we face times that are difficult. If we just had really perfect lives all the time and nothing hard ever happened, we'd be, I think, pretty, like, weak and potentially kind of ungrateful, actually. And so times like this that are difficult, they teach us how to be strong. They teach us how to value what actually matters in life over the things that don't really matter. They teach us to be grateful. I mean, I never thought that I would so value the idea of going to a store, like to buy groceries without being afraid. Or I mean, I always knew that I appreciated and valued my friends and spending time with them. I'm a person who loves to spend time with people. It's just how I'm made. So I always knew that I appreciated that time, but I never realized how much I would value that. I mean, when this ends and I get to see people face to face and hug them and just spend time with them, I hope I never forget what it was like to not have that. I hope I never take that for granted again. Because, like, man, what an opportunity to be grateful right now for the things we still have and the things we'll have again someday. And man, that type of gratitude and that type of remembering the things that we have that are good, that we're grateful for, like, that just makes us so much stronger, makes us more empathetic and more loving, and that's super important, especially right now in the world. And so I wanted to share one thing that I was reminded of, that my dad actually brought up today, and it is a little heavy at first, but it gets better, so hang in there. I promise it has a good ending, and I'll spare you details. But essentially, my dad was telling his church about a time in our lives when I was almost 4, and we were the victims of an armed robbery. We lived in Los Angeles, and we were the victims of an armed robbery, and like I said, I was almost 4, so I'm 3 years old, and I remember it like in kind of like clips from a movie, like scenes from a movie without the whole movie together. So I remember little bits and pieces. I have asked to make sure that those are actually accurate, and they are. So I remember little parts of what happened, and I remember enough of what happened. But, you know, for my dad and my grandparents, who we lived with at the time, it was, you know, it was a big deal. It was a big deal for me too, but yeah. And my dad was talking about how, and by the way, we were all okay. My grandpa was a little beat up, but none of us had any like major wounds or anything. We were all safe. Obviously we had some emotional wounds that needed some healing, but we were all okay. And my dad was saying how when the police officers came to like interview us about what had happened, my dad said the officer who was interviewing him kept looking at us all kind of weird, and my dad was like, "What's up?" And the officer said, "It's just that," he was like, "Sorry, it's just that when we come on these calls, usually everyone is dead." And I know that's kind of heavy, but the point of that is that we're not. We were all okay. We were all perfectly okay in the situation that should have gone a totally opposite way, that may have ended with us not being here. We were all completely fine, like totally fine, physically anyway. We were okay. We were protected. We were kept safe, and man, I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful. And I was reflecting on that this morning and just realizing that, like, my whole life, and like this is why I am who I am, but my whole life I have not been alone. God has always been with me. And he loves me, and he's brought me through a lot of really difficult things in my life. And he's been with me every step of the way, and every single one of those things has made me a stronger person, a more grateful person, a more loving person, and a more empathetic person. And I'm so grateful for all of those times that were hard, because they made me who I am. The only reason I'm able to love people the way I love people is because he loved me first. I have no fear in my life. I don't have to live in fear, because his perfect love casts that fear out. I know he loves me and that he's with me and I'm safe, and so I don't have to be afraid. I have hope because of him, and it's hope that doesn't disappoint. I have a purpose in my life. I have peace. When things seem crazy, like, I still have peace. And I'm so grateful for that. And so I'm actually grateful for this time, even though it's hard for me, and I'm not like, it's not like I love every piece of it. Like, I'm lonely, I live by myself, I don't love that. I very much am looking forward to getting to see people again and leave my house. But man, I'm grateful for this time to experience a difficult situation that will make us stronger. And I'm grateful for the time to stop and have time to clean my patio and make a YouTube channel and, you know, see beautiful flowers and hummingbirds. And I mean, I can't tell you how much time I've spent watching these hummingbirds. They're like my family now. Don't worry, I'm not like losing it. Anyway, like, I'm grateful for the time, and man, like, if you're my friend or my family, you better believe I've been spending this time praying for you and for my students, and I'm grateful for that time that I don't always have. My life, if you know me at all, my life is usually full. Like, I don't leave a minute, really, of unspent time in my life normally, and this has forced me to put on the brakes, and I think it's a really good thing that like, we'll probably never have an opportunity like this again. I hope anyway. But man, we should take advantage of it, even though it's difficult. So somewhere in there, there's a life lesson and an update, but I just want to encourage you again to hang in there, to keep your heads up. Please stay home. I know it's really hard the longer it gets, but please actually just stay home and stay away from people so we can continue to see this thing, or so we can start to see this thing decrease, so we can get back to normal one of these days. But hang in there, and please take advantage of this time to think about all the things you're thankful for and all the ways that you're growing and learning, and maybe even write them down so you don't forget these lessons, so that when we're all back together, we can really genuinely be thankful for the time that we have. And so, yeah, so that's my 2 cents today. I love all of you so much. I'm really, really grateful for all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Thanks, guys.